There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Big up Mob Deep. US President Donald Trump has confirmed that American forces have launched airstrikes on Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, calling the mission a spectacular military success. Because
when did we stop saying you bombed somewhere and it turned into a strike? When did the language change? I don't understand.
Right?
He military just bombed Iran, but then everywhere it's saying there was airstrikes. You bombed Iran. Right.
But then when Iran bombed back in retaliation, Israel, what did they say? They bombed them. They bombed an innocent hospital. They bombed an innocent this. They bombed children. They bombed. Oh my God, Netanyahu! They bombed children. Oh, boo, 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 hoo! How dare you stand in front of a hospital and say that it's a war crime? How fucking dare you? How absolutely dare you?
Basically, so they don't do that. So how it all started, Israel decided to Netanyahu decided to, do you know what? These guys are a threat. I mean, they're always threatening.
The thing is, he's been saying it for 25 years.
Saying that Iran's been a threat, a nuclear threat. And it's also Western colonial bias that the five, the big powers that be have decided which countries are allowed to have nuclear weaponry and which countries aren't. Already it's racism and fucking power, greed, whatever disproportionate stuff afoot. And they decided that Iran, you're not allowed to have nuclear weapons. You can have nuclear stuff to fuel your electricity and shit like that, but you cannot make nuclear weapons. So, but for some reason, they've always said that somehow Iran's in a tunnel somewhere making nuclear weapons. And to be fair, as much as I don't want the world to be having nuclear wars, who the fuck are you lot to tell anybody? You yourself, Russia, China, UK, America, what's the other one?
Israel. India and Pakistan have got nuclear weapons.
Those are the two kind of like anomalies, but the big five power major players, for some reason, decided they're allowed. We're allowed. You guys aren't. Who the fuck?
Do you know what? Do you know what? Mainly, this is why it irks me so very much. America has more nuclear weapons than any other country in the world, right? America is the only country in the world who've bombed people with these nuclear weapons, not once, but twice, okay? America are the ones who, since World War II, have bombed over 25 countries. Right. Over 25 countries. America's done that. No other country has done that. Yet Iran have won none. And I'm not sitting here saying that Iran are great and it's wonderful and all these things. But let's not forget, in 1953, I think it was, America bombed Iran, or they overthrew, or they were part of the overthrowing of the last government that were there because they didn't like it and it didn't suit them, their benefits. And then this is how this new regime came into place. Because once again, America interjected. And now what's happened is they have this regime and they're saying, oh, we're here to save the people, and Iran can't possibly have bombs, even though they're the only ones that have used it. Iran were actually negotiating with the nuclear, what they called, I think, is it the NT? I can't remember what it's called. But they were basically in negotiation saying, come and have a look at all our shit. We're opening the doors. You can come and have a look at all our shit. Like Iraq were doing. Their lead negotiator was killed days before he was supposed to meet with America. He was killed, the lead negotiator in the nuclear weapons. Iran have been saying, come and have a look. Israel, on the other hand, nobody fucking knows anything about Israel. Israel have got nuclear weapons. Israel have not signed a contract to say that we are joining part of this thing. Israel are not allowing people in to see anything, but they are the ones that are scared. The people who have been bombing Israel in the last fucking 2 years have bombed at least 4 or 5 countries. But we should be scared of you. And they're calling it, we should be scared of Iran. They're calling it a preemptive attack. So they did it because they were preempting. It's illegal. And the thing about America joining in now, Donald Trump should be impeached because Donald Trump did it without the authorization from Congress. He decided that he was going to go and do this, despite members of his parliament or his Congress saying the other day that they're not going to do it. He decided that he was going to do it. He pushed the button. That is, you're not supposed to, as a president, go and do that. There's a whole reason why you keep crying democracy, but you fucked off with democracy and you went ahead and you did it, and you're out there bragging. And then we have King fucking Starmer coming out and saying,
running through the whole story,
saying. Because I'm just incensed. Keir Starmer's coming out and basically saying, oh, Iran shouldn't shouldn't escalate things, and it's a great thing. We don't want Iran to have. Why can't they have weapons, but you can, bruv? Let's think about it logically. If I'm someone and you keep slapping me in the face, I'm going to learn self-defense. I'm going to learn self-defense. If there is a bully who comes into the playground every fucking day and beats up 25 people plus, you're going to learn to defend yourself. But no, you can't. The bully is a running right. I'm pissed off.
I have a question off of the back of all of that, and I agree with everything you've said. That is exactly what has taken place. While I was on the toilet today, I was thinking of news and nonsense, what we're going to actually get into when we're talking about Trump and Iran. And I was like, okay, we live in the West. We live here. We have nuclear weapons to defend us. Is it in our interest for the bullies to go around and bully people that you can't have the same weapons as us? Because we are here. Is it in our interest that they do this? I was really doing a thought experiment, because it's easy to attack Trump for what he's doing. But if they really are like, okay, we're losing all of our power, which they are, and these guys could take over, and in the same way that America and the UK has gone around and bombed places, and in effect, nobody has bombed us over here, do we really want that to change? That we now become, in effect, an Iran? That somebody else has the capability to be like, hey, the UK, fuck you, and the US, fuck you. You guys can't have this. And then they bomb us because we are the people on the ground who are probably going to be hurt. Is there a world where we actually do want these guys to continue being the superpowers so that we are safe in our homes?
Do you know what? I don't think that is. I understand where you're going with that. But I really don't think that is a fair way to live as a human being on this planet that we are at. Because at the end of the day, you have got these superpowers going around doing whatever the fuck that they want to do. And even in their home countries, democracy is a myth, right? We know that. Trump is clapping people off the street and putting them in jails and deporting them, even if they're legal. He's doing that. He's taking away women's rights. He's doing that. So a lot of the things that Whoopi Goldberg was, if anyone saw the clip of Whoopi Goldberg on The View talking to her co-host about the difference between Iran and how black people have to live in America, it's not, democracy is a fucking myth. So I think the idea that it's all right as long as it's not us, that's how we've got into these places before. Like, it's all right, but it's not us. It's how, like, a lot of, the wars around, the major wars around the world happened until it was them and they got involved. There's going to be somebody somewhere that is thinking, if the bully is going to keep bullying someone, we have to defend ourselves, and they will strike as well. They will. I just don't think. I think
that again, I see where you're coming from, and it is, we want to be as safe as we are. Everyone in their own little bubble wants to be as safe as they can and not be attacked and not be at the risk of attack. However, if you're constantly bullying and instigating, we're at risk of attack anyway. So this kind of, let's ensure, because there's no, in the ideal world, we don't want to be on the receiving end of anyone's kind of dick swinging contest, which is what the men in power do constantly. We don't want to be at the mercy of that, but we are at the mercy of that regardless, because every time in the West, we have a political leader who wants to show their balls and wants to distract from what they're doing on the home soil. Because what Trump is experiencing at home is a fuckery. What he's doing with the ICE raids, what he's doing with all the bills that he's introducing, with his fucking bromance, stupid on and off bromance with Musk and all the rich players, all the stuff that he's doing that's fucking up his presidency that no one, the normal didn't want. It's all a distraction. So he's trying to show his balls and see how powerful he is. We're at the mercy of these rich men anyway, these rich white men anyway. So no, we benefit kind of, but we don't benefit. We don't. We got Keir Starmer, who's supposed to be a man for the people, who's shown his right-wing white ass in abundance. And we're being dragged down his fucking whatever whimsical whims of what he wants to do. I don't even know where he stands at this point. So no, we're not at an advantage being in the West. We have a little bit of like hiding behind the Wizard of Oz type thing, but we're not at any benefit. We're not. I don't think they have. I don't think it's hard to say we want Trump to go on and go forth and enact this, because actually, what is his actual intel on what he's doing? What is his motivation for doing this, aside from Israel decided to do something, so kissing Israel's ass, and whatever that allegiance, I'd love to see the freaking videotape, the contract, the document that explains why these two countries are so entangled in each other.
Listen,
whatever that is, that's what I don't understand. So we're not benefiting, and we're not
Donald Trump
safe.
Donald Trump tweeted whilst Obama was in presidency that Obama is he's going to start a war because he doesn't know how to negotiate with Iran. Donald Trump tweeted that. Look what he's gone and done himself.
Yeah.
The fact that I think people need to be very scared, just because he is the leader of the Western inverted commas free world, he is not acting like it is a democratic country. He's gone and he's done this on his own without permission from Congress. Now, that is not something that you do as a democracy. Tony Blair basically convinced a bunch of fucking people, along with America, to go and invade Iraq. He's now coming out and begging for forgiveness and saying, oh, I'm really sorry. Here's something that I'll have to live with forever. Keir Starmer is out here basically doing a Tony Blair. He's out here doing the same shit. You cannot, how can we respect? Okay, let's break it down. How can we respect international law? How can we expect anybody to comply with international law if the leaders of the free world do not comply with it themselves? You cannot expect someone to behave themselves when all you do is fucking do your own thing. All you do is whatever you want because you want to be in power. That's what they're displaying. But it is like the Wizard of Oz, because they're standing behind this curtain and they're acting like it's not. They are basically presenting an image that is not true. That is what they're doing because they want to remain in power. They are basically saying it's not us, it's them, but they are doing the bombing. Yeah. They are doing the bullying. They are doing the colonization. They are doing the rape and pillaging of countries. They are the ones doing that, but it's gaslighting, like somebody said. But they're presenting like, no, we are here to save you. The fact that Keir Starmer came out and said that and actually that stupid clown Netanyahu as well said, Donald Trump is braver than anybody else because he's come out and done this. And Keir Starmer's, we absolutely cannot let Iran have nuclear weapons while you have nuclear weapons, bruv.
It doesn't, and it's everything. It is, I have a mission that I've been on since we started this, is the illumination that we have to leave this place. Like we have to go. And if we choose to stay here in the West, in all of our factions, whether you're an African American, a Black American, the FBA, or you're a Black Brit, or you're in France and you are like, it doesn't matter, or Germany, and you've decided, however your family came to get here, and happy Windrush Day, that we are going to stay here. With what's going on in the world and what they are beginning to do, which does seem like it is a World War III pending, they may start bombing Israel, but after a while, do they not? They will come over to us and bomb. And we are here. And so it is like, if we want to stay here, then you want your powers to fight them first. No, is that not how?
No, I think what you're saying makes sense. But when it's what you're saying makes sense, but we know what they're doing is wrong. So I cannot say yes, I want the West to win in this instance, because I don't. What they're doing is shit. I'm not. Yeah. I'm also.
So then that's the question I'm asking. So then, do we want the fall to happen? Because there's the polls are there. I think fighting because they want to survive. They want to stay the top dog where they can bomb who they want so that they don't have a threat. So they aren't Iran. That is basically what America is doing. They don't want to be the Iran. They don't want Iran or China to get enough power where they are able to fly over and come into their airspace and be able to bomb like they have been able to do that way. So it's one thing to be against it, but it's also like, well, you know where that leads is a switch of power, where then us in our homes become vulnerable. Yes. This is a sports exercise, guys. I really think that we all need to, it's one thing to be opposed to something, but truly sit in the energy of, okay, so the opposition is, these guys could get a foothold now. Do we want the power to truly change so that they are the next power? Because it's either, we're dealing in polls, it's either one or the other. They come over and bomb here, or we go over and bomb there. This is where we are now, because the world isn't being reimagined where nobody is fighting. It's either Iran has nuclear powers, China has nuclear powers, and they bomb this way.
Well, I think what you're saying is that it's the motivation to then you, as an individual, you figure out what you want to do. Because again, we say people say move to Africa, move to Caribbean, move back to where your people are. But even in our countries, not one African country, as far as I understand, has nuclear weapons. Not one Caribbean country has nuclear weapons, has resources to arm themselves because they would also come to us and use us. So wherever even if it's talking about let's go back home, I know, let me speak for myself, I'm not built to live in the bush of Ghana. I know if I was built to live in the bush of Ghana, I can live in the bush and I can hide and I can go underground, know which animals, which berries to avoid, which berries to cook, what's not going to poison me, what animal's not going to bite me and kill me with my Western fucking infected blood. How am I going to survive in the bush of Ghana, which is where I'd need to go? Because if I live in Accra, Kumasi, in the main towns, that is where the American bases and Western bases are. So we're not free anywhere at this point on this earth. It's 100% safe anywhere, because even our black leaders in our black countries are susceptible. If the odds are stacked against them when it's like nuclear war, they're going to have to find an allegiance. And then they will usually come for the lower ranking countries first before they go and bomb the actual. So we're not safe anywhere. So I think this contention, what we're doing, debating and thinking about, if we lose, if we're us in the West, in quotes, we lose, then that's the motivation to figure out what's the next steps. But until we see it, because you can plan, because everyone's planning. At this moment in time, I'm trying to make money. I don't have enough money to relocate anywhere. So what I need to do is make money before shit. So that's so there's only so much you can do, and you can talk and share information. This is why news nonsense exists. Have the information and plant seeds like what it is. How do we do this? But we're not safe anywhere.